Okay, boys, welcome back. This is another hot episode of Pretty Much Experts. And I'm your host, Robert John, visiting Canada for a week. There's, we had to blur his camera to protect his identity for all his crimes. Yeah. There's Mikey over there.
Hello. Might have pulled some illegal shit this weekend, yep.
We might allude to illegal. Some things, but yeah, we don't want anyone going to jail and doing some jail casts. And then,
no.
Is this your first From the New House podcast, Skyler?
Second from the new house.
Damn.
First from the new bedroom, the blue bedroom. Yeah.
Just multiple bedrooms to pick from.
Oh, yeah. It's the same with like when I poo, I just pick a different room every time.
Pick what door to leave.
Territory.
Pick what door to leave open.
Are you hot bagging in some of those rooms, or you got toilets in every room?
Just hot bagging, toilet, whatever you got. A couple boxes.
When I lived in Romania, and I had an apartment that was like huge and all to myself and had 2 bathrooms. It sounds gross to say it now, but it won't stop me. I was a big fan of dumping in one room and then walking down the hall and wiping in the other.
Just cuz?
Just cuz.
Yeah.
Just cuz.
Wow. Like, you're going to end up with an itchy ass doing that.
Yeah. I was only walking down the hall, but it was like, when else am I going to have this opportunity?
Now, do you pull your pants up or no?
No, I just walked. I took my pants all the way off and just like walked like a toddler.
Oh my lord.
That's great. Yeah, see, I have stairs to contend with if I wanted to do that. I feel like just the motion of the stairs with the unwiped ass would just cause... Yeah, give yourself an itch for sure.
Yeah. It would be hilarious if that fucking Romanian house was like on one of those cam porn sites, and it was like watch someone exist all day secretly, and you're just fucking doing the shit and wipe in 2 different bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a fetish.
So
you're a fetish.
Disgustingly premeditated. Like at one point there was only toilet and like only paper in one toilet.
So you have to.
So and it was still like I'm gonna do it. But there was no like if anything got out of hand and it's like, oh god, I should clean this up here. It was still like, nope, I committed to this.
I had McDonald's yesterday for the first time in probably 4 months. You know, it's been months.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it, but I ate a lot too. Like I was hungover and was just like, I'm gonna eat this McDonald's. I moved my van, kind of moved locations. So good luck finding me now. But I had some McDonald's on the fly, and I probably shit 14 times yesterday. Like broke a record.
Wow.
Like to the point where I had to start using new bathrooms because I was
couldn't go back to Canadian Tire again.
Well, like I went to Canadian Tire twice. I went to Tim Hortons fucking 3 times at least. There's a park pretty close to here, and they got like public washrooms that are like open, you know, until 10 p.m. Like I probably used that 6 times.
Right.
You know?
Oh, no.
Where it's just like, holy crap, I gotta do this again, and then you get there and you sit down, you're like, oh no, I'm good. And then it's like, no, here it is. Like as soon as you relax your bowel. Like I double digits, man. Double digits. Damn. Whatever it was, 12, 13, 14 times I sat on the toilet yesterday.
And like sick and miserable all day, or just like, oh wow, there's still more in there?
Sick, but not miserable. I had too much going on.
Yeah.
You know, I was hungover. I just had a wicked night the night before and just had shit to do and just, you know, toughed it out. I was sick. I was definitely sick.
Is there any part of the party you went to that you can allegedly mention happened for our viewers? Like may or may not have used the bathroom at the party.
No, I didn't. I did not use the bathroom once at that party.
You read between the lines, faithful listeners.
I don't mind saying this because like the odds are good that like no one that went to that party is gonna listen to this ever.
Yeah.
And the person that I went with that might, she's well aware that I pissed in in the bedroom on the floor at this party multiple times. Just as a fuck you, like for no other reason. Like it was a huge house. They had probably a dozen bathrooms if I was guessing.
Yeah.
Massive house. I could have shit and wiped in all of them, you know?
Yeah. Especially with some McDonald's in you.
That was the next day. But yeah, I took some liberties and brought it back, old school, fucking pissing in weird places at random parties.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back, baby. OG.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever pissed on the floor in somebody's house. I'm trying.
No, I can't say.
I don't know. To be honest, I can't remember if I have either. On purpose, I don't know. I don't know if I have.
Not really bringing it back as you are just losing morals.
Just
breaking more ground, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being
Fresh
inventive, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if you're a doucher and you deserve to have your floor pissed on, then
so there was 100 people at this party, give or take. 90 of them were douchebags, and one of them or two of them owned this house. So it was like, and we're partying, you know, and shit's going off the rails, and it is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
No apologies. Like, I mean, if I felt bad, I wouldn't have done it a second and third time.
Right.
Right? Like, I pissed, partied, left the party to go get food, and came back and pissed 2 more times.
Yeah.
Like, I had time to think about it. You know, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all. Just, I think that's my new calling card. I won't do it in your house, Rue, when I come to visit.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm getting at now. Like,
no, I like
it. I just invited you to my home. Then you're talking about pissing on people's floors.
No, I like you. I just didn't
good.
like these people, and it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. And like the handful of people that, you know, I was hanging out with thought it was fucking hilarious, so it just fueled the fire.
That's all that matters.
Everybody did something weird, but that was definitely the the top of the mountain.
Oh yeah.
It was all down from there.
Yeah.
I was in the great city of Hamilton all weekend. My excuse to come back to Canada is like
Stinky
this
Hamilton.
huge craft beer festival at the Collective Arts Brewery, and it was maybe the funnest weekend I've had all year, which says a lot for the amount of fun weekends I've had. I kind of went in there thinking like, okay, it's like a craft brewery festival, like in Hamilton, like it's gonna be a lot of dad rock, like, you know.
Yeah.
The kind of people that Mike would piss all over their floor. But it was like the funnest weekend. I like just show up, here's your hotel, it's this gigantic fucking suite. Like I've never stayed in a hotel that nice in my life. And it's just like paid for. Go to the brewery and it's just like all you can drink, all you can eat, and just have to like paint with my buddies.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
I mean, and Hamilton is pretty underrated. I know, like, you were pretty isolated, I imagine, right?
No, it's right downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, even still, like, well, that's all you really need to see is that area.
Yeah.
Like James Street and...
Yeah. Like, the hotel was on, like, Bay Street. Like, it's...
Bay, yeah.
It was sick. So, like, the festival went to, like, 10:30, and then there was, like, 20 minutes of kicking everybody out, and then at 11 it was like the after party started at the brewery, which was just big loud music. Like they just rolled out like basically wheelbarrows full of ice and beers, and then when that wrapped up at like 1, it's like go down to like catch some random bar on the way back to the hotel. We ended up doing like karaoke Friday night. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate karaoke, but just shows what state I was in by the time we got there that I had so much fun. Ended up crawling out of the bar at the end of the night, like on my hands and knees.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Hours.
Happy Hours.
Shout out to Happy Hours.
Shout
that
out
place
to Happy
is
Hours.
Fucking lit.
It was lit.
Yeah.
Some rough-looking bartenders.
I think rough-looking patrons, too.
There was a few rough-looking patrons.
Yeah. Like it's I'm pretty sure it's a 7 days a week karaoke bar.
Yeah, there was one real rough-looking lady, and this was like, and I quote, she came up and she like grabbed me and started dancing, and I was like, okay, entertaining it. Kind of like peeled off. She grabbed my other buddy, started dancing, and he's like entertaining it way more than I was. Like he has way more patience.
Yeah.
And then she leans into him and goes, if this dance doesn't end with us fucking in the bathroom, stop wasting my time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's my future ex-wife right there.
That's
I
some
think
fucking
so.
happy hours in Hamilton.
Yeah.
So he just like nods politely and just peels off, like leaves her. She just grabs the next guy and is like, what the fuck?
I don't know if I fucked in that bathroom, but maybe. It's a definite maybe.
Definite maybe.
That is the place for it. I think your brother, right here, this guy, big man here, I'm pretty sure you and your roommate came to visit one time, and we went and did like the street festival that they do in the summer.
Yeah.
And your roommate got a ticket for drinking in public or something after we had all just stashed our drinks in public.
Oh yeah, that happened. Yep.
And I'm pretty sure we ended up at that bar.
Yeah.
And I ripped a booth off the wall.
Yeah, you got in a fight.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your roommate at the time fucking.
Oh, she was not happy.
No, she punched some it was a
family affair.
I think this was the first time you actually hung out with my roommate, so you just like set the best impression ever, right? Like
Yeah.
drinking.
And before
tickets
that,
and
she knows me as the guy
rips.
that gave you a black eye.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess you met the expectations, right?
Yeah.
So
The bar was so fucking low.
Oh man. Yeah, that night turned into a fucking real shit show, but it was a great time. It was a great time.
great time. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
No, Hamilton's sweet. It's a fun place to party. I don't think I know I would never live there again, but I mean, who knows? You know, if all the stars aligned and there was a reason for me to be there, work related, I'd consider it. I mean, Toronto's way more fun, but Hamilton's pretty underrated. Like there's cool people, there's shit going on, there's like decent local bands.
Yeah.
Fun places to get in fights and rip shit off the walls.
Yeah.
You know?
Just ripping shit.
Just ripping and tearing.
Kick
Oh,
flipping, turning your hotel into a skate park.
Oh, there was
hate to
some
do this to
some
you.
skateboarding in our room that night for sure.
I hate to do this to you guys, but I gotta leave for 30 seconds.
Oh
There's
my
something going
God.
on in my house. I don't know what's happening in this
Is
house
it
right
cat
now.
related?
I don't know if it's cat related or someone's getting murdered or something, but
Bring the computer.
Bring the computer. You gotta live cast this.
no way. I'm not wearing pants. I'm out of here.
Can't do waist up
This
live
fucking
cast.
guy is gonna go like fight a burglar dong out.
Yeah, we don't get to, participate.
Yeah, we don't even get to see what happens.
Fuck. There might be a fire going on. Look at that. Look at the corner of his
He
screen.
does look a little glowy.
There's a glow.
He might just have like
Candles.
fancy bulbs.
Oh yeah, moon bulbs.
He has a fucking moon bulb. He never shuts up about.
Oh man, he loves his
He
moon
loves
bulb.
his fucking moon bulb. For our faithful listeners, the first night he was in that house, he sent us a photo of the TV he hung, and then we just roasted him for how crooked the fucking TV was. And then there was like 4 more posts of him and his fucking moon bulbs. It's like,
Yeah, he quickly changed the subject.
yeah, fuck off with the moon bulbs. Let's see some more of this house. Let's see. You got a kitchen, you got a bathroom, like nothing. Basement, nothing.
Everything's crooked.
Multiple
What was
moon
it?
bulbs.
What was it?
Okay, what's the
Nothing.
story? What's the story?
Roommate just decided that she's looking for her travel mug and ripping apart every fucking box that's like sitting at the bottom of the stairs.
Uh-huh.
So it just sounds like people are like smashing wood together. And
Is this travel mug to prevent another drinking in public ticket tonight?
I might be. I didn't ask.
What else do you need travel mugs for?
This is true.
Dude, is that what you got a ticket for? Is that what it was?
Yeah, we just had open beers, I think. She was pouring
Yeah.
a drink and they came around the corner.
Yeah, and we were all like, fuck, and like behind the
Yeah.
bush.
I remember actually I was packing a pipe with dope. and someone was like, the cops are coming. So I just like stashed it behind me, under my jacket as I was like sitting there.
Yeah.
And the roommate got like pulled away so they could like talk to her and just give her the ticket, whatever. And he was like kind of lecturing us, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, like totally shouldn't be doing this at all, right? Like, but like can't move because I got this pipe of dope like under my butt.
We were on a roof or something, weren't we?
We were in some park, but it was like the
on
second
a roof.
level
it was like a
of
park
a park
on a roof. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird. So it was like weird. As soon as they came around this corner, like up onto said roof, like we're just sitting there with beers and dope out, right? Like.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to pat myself on the back, but I don't know if I deserve it, so you can clarify. But did I give her like $40 or $60 or something and be like, I'm sorry? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I was like, I'm going to pat myself on the back whether this happened or not. Like did I just...
It was like I can't remember.
Imagine that I was a good person for a minute, or...
I think it was like $120 or something stupid. And we all split it like 4 ways kind of thing, right? Like could have been any of us. You just happened to be you.
We're just lucky it wasn't all of us, because that's some real money right there.
Yeah, not all splitting it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we are. Everyone's paying their own ticket.
We got 4 tickets. We're splitting it 4 ways.
4 ways split.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, we're supposed to talk about the topic at the top of the show, right?
Where's the gripe?
Oh, we have gripes too. God damn.
Our schedules were griping.
Right off we needed an itinerary or something to keep us on track. I got a gripe this week for sure.
Yeah, you got the only gripe, I think. Only real one.
I think my gripe will lead us into more gripes. My gripe is with the homeless population in Hamilton.
Oh yeah, wow. Plenty.
I guess this isn't really with those people particularly, but whoever's supposed to be helping these people. Okay. I've never seen so many homeless people with broken limbs and open wounds and bandages. It's like, did they just come out of a war? Like, what is going on here? Like, there's homeless people in every city I've ever been to, but like, never have I seen so many people with like wrapped heads, like bleeding arms, like on crutches, homeless. It's like, what is going on? Is there constant fights?
They fight a lot.
And no health care?
And they're right downtown, like where, like the whole like business area, the little business areas where all the cool shops are, where the mall is, where like the main roads intersect, like right downtown where you want to be is the most populated area for homeless people. Right at that Jackson Square Mall.
Yeah.
Literally right in the fucking center of the 2 busiest streets.
Wild time. Like all the years
you're saying they need more care.
They need more care, and they need to knock off whatever the hell they're doing. Just knock it off, boys. Because like I've lived in Toronto for a decade. I've lived in goddamn Bucharest, Romania. Like I've done it, and I've never seen like the triage area that you could also just call the street. Downtown Hamilton. Just people in line to get treatment, but they're not. They're just hanging out.
Well, when I was there 5 years ago or whatever it was, like there always seems to be, no matter what city you're in, like they have the same thing here in Vancouver. It's actually worse in Vancouver here. Like you'd have to come see it for yourself. Like if you're into the whole touristy thing, Skid Row is the place to go.
Yeah.
But like they have a housing crisis, right? So like all of these wealthy people from overseas, Europe and Asia and all these places, they come, they buy these properties because it's a way for them to like place for them to funnel their money and investment of sorts. Yeah. And they don't live in these houses and buildings and such, or don't take care of it. And, you know, there's no places to rent for cheap. Like, it's an actual issue, like, in a lot of the country here, for an investment. You know, like, buying up all the low-income properties and doing nothing with them, or bulldozing them and putting up fucking $500,000 condos.
Yeah.
So there's no, like, these people are disenfranchised, you know, like, probably from the get-go, but, like, that just adds to it. there's no place to go, and there's not enough resources for them, like community-funded resources or government-funded resources, for them to have a place to sleep.
So our gripe is with the government, is what you're saying.
It usually is. That or Hortons.
I think it does.
Oh, fucking Tim Hortons.
I'm
Tim
sure
Hortons
they got
in Hamilton, oh my god.
Do not go to a Tim Hortons in Hamilton.
There's more sick and bleeding homeless people indoors in Tim Hortons than there is on the streets.
Yeah.
No.
There's definitely more than just free Wi-Fi at Tim Hortons in Hamilton.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Free Hep-C.
You'll catch it. You'll catch something.
You'll get it.
Oh,
I couldn't
no.
even tell who was staff and who was homeless in that Tim Hortons.
they all are wearing Tim Hortons clothes because they got them for free at the Goodwill.
There's an equal amount of people in uniform just like cracked out on the floor as there was like people without uniform behind the counter.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That was a wild
That's the truth.
But there is a wicked housing crisis in
Vancouver,
BC at the moment.
not in Hamilton.
Yeah.
No,
not
well, it's all
Hamilton.
over. It is all over, but definitely in Vancouver here, yeah.
Yeah, things are rough all over, Pony Boy.
Except
There's like a pretty busy area. It's like Main and something downtown, right before you kind of get to Granville Street. So it's like just off the beaten path, but you could tell at one point it was the place to be. Like there used to be storefronts there. Now everything's like a bodega. Like everything on like this one strip of road is like a bodega because nothing else can exist there. There are literally people, broad daylight, with and like people with their families and people with their briefcases. Everybody from every walk of life has to kind of walk through this area at some point if they're gonna exist downtown or work downtown, like or do anything on Granville Street. Your odds are that you're gonna pass Skid Row, and it's just like probably 2 blocks or 3 blocks. It goes around a corner, even like it extends around this corner, and there's people shooting up. There's people having sex. There's people like selling stolen goods. Like there's massive flea market of stolen goods, and there's probably at any given day 500 people in 2 city blocks.
Wow.
At least 500 people. Homeless.
Sounds like a good time. You're still talking about Hamilton.
No, this is Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
It's sketchy, man. Like, I mean, if you look like you have something, they will take it from you, I'm sure. But, I mean, like, I don't have to worry about that. Like, I wear the same tattered clothes every day, and I keep my head up, and I'll look everybody in the eye, and I'll nod, and I'll entertain shitty conversations.
Let's be real. You're the one fucking taking the shit. You're on that side of the mob.
Yeah, I could lead that mob, sure. Comes down to it. If there's a call to arms, I'm there.
Yeah, vive la resistance, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not standing with the yuppies, that's for sure.
No.
Just fucking potato guns full of needles. That's what I'm coming with.
And you'd say Vancouver's like yuppie capital of Canada?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The most
Really?
yuppie place I've ever been, for sure.
I would think Toronto's pretty up.
The down, like in that like Bay and Front Street in Toronto, it's pretty yuppie, but like it doesn't. I'd say it probably extends, but like you don't really see it.
Yeah.
Like extend out from there. Like it's in small pockets from there. It's really concentrated at Bay and Front right downtown in Toronto. Here it's like I'm in Burnaby area now. It's like it exists here. It exists in Richmond. Surrey's a pretty trashy area. But like Vancouver itself, like there's like the east end of Vancouver. Like I wasn't here. Like I visited here over the last 10 years, but like I wasn't here 10 years ago, so I can't really comment on what it was like. But now it's like middle class to upper class living in the area that's kind of designed to house like a lower income population. Like that's where all the students and working students used to live, is East Van. And because all the property was cheap, rent was cheap, there was cool shit around, cool little neighborhoods. But because it's cheap, these middle class or upper middle class people will move in, and it's now they exist there. It's like, where are all the working students and lower class people gonna live? Like there's just you know. And the further and further you get out from that, the more and more wealthy it becomes. So it's like,
it's a crisis, man.
Yuppie city, man. It's yuppie city for sure. There's cool people here, and there's definitely cool areas, like pockets of, you know, just working students and working, you know, blue collar type people, baristas, you know.
Fucking barista culture.
the modern blue collar. Like, there's definitely pockets in East Van and
fucking
and
Blue
downtown.
Apron, am I right?
Yeah. But it is definitely a crisis. Like the housing crisis is real here. I mean, I don't have to worry about it. I'm not planning on worrying about it for a long time.
Yeah.
But I know people that are directly affected by it for sure.
Well, when the parking crisis comes, right?
Yeah, well, that's here too.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Homeless crisis spill over to the parking crisis.
Well,
Or are you
it's like,
gonna
I
no
can't
more
park
parking
your 2
spots.
extra cars with your house call?
Yeah, I do. It's too populated downtown, or even in like the cooler areas just off, like, you know, East Van and shit. It's too populated, like, for me to like not, you know, encroach on people. So I mean, like, I have to go further out of the downtown core. I do, and like just on the fringe of, like, you know, the rich suburbs, where those people don't know what's going on. Like, they've never seen it. They're from different countries. I'm not going to say where, but they're typically from other countries, and they don't even look twice at me barbecuing on the side of the road, you know?
Yeah.
The new barbecue, did you get?
Mighta.
Cool.
Mighta, might not.
Cool.
New to you.
New to me.
Yeah.
Use Craigslist.
Yep. Thank you, Craig.
Good thing. Yeah, thanks, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've just been fucking renovating my house, so I think my only gripe is just I fucking hate painting. And cats.
It's a loud
Yeah,
cat.
cats suck.
And loud, shitty cats. Yeah, you.
He can hear it through the headphones.
Oh, clear
This
as a
blurry
bell.
dog over here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's all perked up.
Yeah, all the animals are coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it.
But we've been, I don't know, went to rip up the carpet the other day, and there was just fucking plywood under the carpet, like no hardwood floor.
Oh, you got tricked.
And it's just like, I guess that's a thing, but it's like, why the fuck?
Why did you think
Why the
it was
fuck?
hardwood under it?
Well, because
Yeah.
there's hardwood in all the bedrooms.
Oh.
So it was like, oh, the hallway's probably hardwood too.
Yeah.
And then lifted it, and it's just fucking plywood. Like, you bastards.
So how do
It
you
was
put
probably
the carpet back down?
damaged.
You just staple it back down, or?
Well, yeah, we just ripped it up in the in one of the closets.
Oh.
And then, like, kind of pulled it back, and it's like, oh, no. And we painted all over it, so, like, it's going to have to come up eventually.
Yeah.
So, we need new carpet now.
That's not cheap.
No, but it's just a little shitty hallway. We might get away with it.
What about the stairs?
you
It's got all
just,
match.
No, stairs, we got to paint the stairs. Stairs are fucking like salmon.
Salmon.
It's fucking disgusting. Makes me want to puke every time I walk up and
You're
down
not gonna
those
have
stairs.
one of those rich people stairs with a strip of carpet down the middle.
We could.
You could.
Good
Apparently.
Racing
yeah,
stripe on your stairs.
they're in right now. I'm thinking I want like 2 up the sides.
Just the sides, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would like, but I don't know. I don't get to make all these decisions myself anymore.
I would say probably a cheaper and, you know, a good route to go, like obviously for longevity too. But if you did like vinyl flooring in your hallway and then threw a nice rug, like a runner.
Yeah.
Because like that vinyl flooring is cheap. Like you can get a box that it covers like 25 to 30 square feet for like about $1 a square foot. So instead of doing maybe even cheaper, I don't know what carpet costs. It's probably a couple bucks a square foot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can save this for after the show, but
I think this
it's
is pertinent.
it's something to consider. Get some vinyl flooring. You can do it in an afternoon. It's easy to put together. It's cheap. You know? and then get a nice runner, and then it's durable too. So if the carpet gets gross, you can take it out and beat it and wash it, and your floor underneath's still good.
Yeah.
Durable.
Yeah, we got options. Like right now, we're just trying to finish. I think we're done doing like little reno things. It's more like let's get shit in the house and let's fucking get busy living. You know.
Yeah.
But there's
pull
shit
the
to
carpet
be done.
up next month.
What's
Oi, get out of here.
What's the amount of times the cat's pissed all over the furniture in the new house?
No pisses that we know of yet. She puked twice.
Okay.
But that's just cat life.
Yeah.
Gotta get used to that. That's why hardwood's nice too, right? Like if she pukes on a carpet, it's like you're not cleaning that out.
No, that's a new smear.
And also, if she were to piss on it, it's like then you've just ruined our carpet.
Yeah.
And
You could our friends at Febreze might be able to help you with some cat piss.
I don't think there is a fucking anything in the world that can mask cat piss. Like I don't know what it is. Like I think too. Like once the cat pisses on something, here's my gripe.
I could try with human piss. See if that's any.
But like human piss isn't that potent.
Experience.
I feel like it's like ooh that's bad, but like it's not. It's not like
after
there's
a weekend of drinking and it's kind of like iced tea color. It's pretty.
Oh yeah.
Was it a carpet piss or a hardwood floor piss?
Me carpet.
Oh, rude! Oh,
it was right at the foot of the bed too, so you're stepping in it. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I'm just fucking glad that no one walked in while I got my bird out, just like blatantly peeing.
Not even trying to hide it.
No, I wasn't. It wasn't a spare room either. It was a lived-in room.
Jeez.
I was just saying though with my cat, like as soon as she pisses on one thing, it then just becomes a toilet to her forever.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it doesn't matter what you spray it with at all. Like if it's you'll clean it and she'll be like, oh, doesn't smell like my toilet anymore. Better use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better do it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cat piss is gross. It really is.
Yeah,
pungent.
It's pungent. That's the word. Like you can like taste it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the tip of your tongue.
I feel like they're constantly dehydrated. Like that's got to be part of it.
Oh yeah. Do they even drink water?
It doesn't.
I don't think they drink water.
But they do. But
I think they get the water from the things that they eat.
Well, that's like what the wet meat's all about. Like if you give them wet meat, what's good is they get the juices and hydrated from it, because a lot of times they're just too dumb to fucking drink water, or they're
like
really
they do
just
with sled dogs.
They're just stupid and prissy, and it's like, oh, this water wasn't poured an hour ago, I'm not drinking it, like. But it's like, fuck you, you're drinking the water because I'm not changing it.
They refuse to drink room temperature water.
Yeah.
It's got to be iced.
Is this spring fed?
Yeah. Is this,
Did I ask you to piss in my mouth?
This isn't Fiji water?
Yeah. This is Dasani. I'm fucking gonna puke on your couch again.
Oh man. Speaking of fucking pungent, that is the worst water out there.
Dasani?
Dasani? I do not want their sponsorship. I know they're barking. I know they're nipping at the heels. Dasani wants part of the podcast, but they can't have it.
They can't have it.
Fuck Dasani.
Not my type, Dasani.
Poison.
What's your beef with Dasani? Like, I'm not a big Nestle fan.
Have you tasted it? Have you ever tasted Dasani water?
It's like if you
not. It's like if you ground up a battery and threw it in the water. Like that's what it tastes like. It's so
That's
bad.
Not very good.
It's alkaline.
It
is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's alkaline.
It's alkaline.
It's got a high pH, I think.
Oh, probably. It's just an acid.
That's like when, I don't know. You've been with your roommate for a while, but you gotta know. That's like when you're with some women, it doesn't really... Sometimes it just doesn't really work. The smell, the taste. It's not that it's bad. It's that it's it's different.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And that's what the water's like?
The water's like that, yeah. It's a pH problem. You gotta adjust your pH, please.
Or get the fuck out.
I'm coming properly adjusted every time.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm fucking neutral.
Yeah, I'm neutral, baby.
Yeah.
I'm like baking soda.
Wow.
There you go.
On that note.
On that
Yeah,
note, Jesus.
talking about baking soda.
Yeah, how are we gonna neutralize this?
How are you gonna? Yeah, what's the pH level of Chernobyl right now?
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
I think the last thing you're trying to get the measure on at Chernobyl is the pH level.
Yeah.
So how many Rom Johns are there? That's
think
all you need to know.
It's important to know how many Rom Johns, but you can't overlook a good
Yeah,
pH
what
level.
was that? What is that? Is that a proper measurement, or was that made up for the show?
It might be
Now, I don't
Ukrainian
know.
for
Yeah, I think
pH
it's like
level.
the Russian word for something to do with. I feel like I don't know. I've played Fallout enough times, but I don't know like what they call them rads, don't they? I don't know.
rads
like,
or Geiger counter or
your Geiger counter. You're like, what's a Geiger counter? That's what is
measures
measuring
your
the Rom
Geigers.
Johns.
Your Geigers, yeah.
Yeah, but so I don't know. Your Romjans.
Yeah, the Rom Johns is lost in translation.
I feel like it's a word that you don't hear anymore because Soviet Union isn't around anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was made up for the one country.
Yeah, and they.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about Chernobyl, the 5-part miniseries that we all watched on HBO. But I got a gripe about it before we even get into it.
Sweet.
Wow, nice segue.
It's a good segue back to the gripes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything was British except for like when they showed a document or a banner. What was that about?
I agree
Everything.
with you.
What was that? Was so weird.
It was weird.
So,
Or like why? Like wait, hold on. To jump ahead, it's like when they're showing banners and I get it, like it's part of the aesthetic, but like when they're in the courtroom again, to jump ahead at the end, it's like he's got these fucking things. He's trying to make his point. Why are they in Russian or Ukrainian or whatever language that is? Like everything else is British. You know,
Just
why
keep it
are
British.
these cue cards in fucking Russian?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can gripe with you on that for
Gripe
sure.
away, baby.
It's like you've already decided you're going British accent. Like, don't waste your time and money making fucking signs and spell it in Soviet Union Russia.
Yeah.
And then just have the subtitle underneath like Chernobyl, Lenin, power plant, nuclear reactor. 4.
For all we know, we don't even know if it's spelled correctly. Like those could just be like
No.
squiggles all over the blocks.
Oh, they
in this
probably
PowerPoint
are.
a bunch
presentation.
of triangles.
Yeah.
Like that's not a letter.
Definitely. Now, it's funny you say that because, like, me and the roommate, like, before I get, like, too deep into this, we're actually really big fans of Chernobyl. And one of our, like, goals in life is to potentially go on a tour of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We always said that, like, that would be our honeymoon, was that we'd go to, like, the Ukraine.
I feel like you
Make
guys...
sure she's not pregnant.
Yeah, don't take her there all pregnant.
Or fucking take her pregnant.
Get her pregnant, okay.
Get her pregnant there.
Would you say you want her to get pregnant there so that when she comes back and has a cancer baby and it dies, like you don't have to actually have a kid, but you get all the benefit of going through that plus sympathy of your child dying? That's
Probably
think
money
it's like,
too.
Yeah,
BuzzFeed
like
read a
the-
story
I
about
don't
you.
know.
That's a cool $1,500.
Yeah, you get on the news.
Like, I don't know. When you go, all I'm saying is when you go to Disney World, you buy the little monkey, the Mickey ears.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the ultimate souvenir.
A little
True.
radiation poisoning.
I feel like
Yeah.
you guys might have
Couple
missed the
rom-doms.
boat on that, though. Like, you gotta believe the Chernobyl travel destination's skyrocketing right now.
Oh, for sure
All
it is
the-
now. All
all
these
the
fucking
weekenders,
yuppies
yeah,
taking our idea.
People from Vancouver.
Bringing dogs back with them.
Um,
Saving dogs.
Saving dogs at Chernobyl.
You know that's a thing
Oh,
for
For
sure.
sure that's a thing.
For sure,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Send them to Canada. And
Yeah.
fucking
People have
Instagram
radioactive
about it.
dogs here for sure.
But I did see an interview. We watched this show, me and the roommate, and it bugged us about the British accents, and
Yeah.
I guess the reasoning that one of the somebody from the show said was because they thought that it was like either you have to go out and hire a bunch of Russian actors, which I guess they how many good Russian actors are there?
As many as there are nuclear scientists.
Apparently, but and then it's
8.
like so you hire all these people to just try to make up a fucking Russian accent, and it's like the most hokiest, like, oh, give me some vodka,
Yeah.
you end up sounding like Red from Orange Is the New Black, like it's just
But they
like
still, like, they peppered that in. Like, some of the characters, you know, real people portrayed
Did they?
by these actors, had like a Russian twang. Even still, like they still peppered that in from time to time. But you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Like I think it would come off a lot more hokey or just like kind of cheap. Maybe not as well done if they had like half-ass actors doing a half-ass Russian accent. And they weren't talking in English and Russian accents either. So you might as well do it in British or do it in full.
And you know what? Like
English
I have a hard enough time understanding British people when they speak. Like I just have shitty ears.
Oh
and
God damn it! That's next week's gripe.
Yeah,
for sure.
a terrible.
It's been my ongoing gripe for like
attention
4 weeks
span.
now with Irish people.
Yeah.
But so I think if you try to do a shitty Russian accent, I would have to have subtitles on for the whole show, which isn't a problem. It's just takes me out of it.
A little bit. Yeah.
For the first night, like texting you, Skyler, like, are you watching this Chernobyl show? I'm like, yeah, it's sweet. And then we're both like, oh, but the British accents are like pretty bush league. And then like Mike chimes in, he's like, this show sounds fucking horrible. And we're both like, it's still pretty great. Like you do overlook it eventually.
You get past it.
It was good. By the end of it, it was I'm hooked. I wish I could watch it again and get the same enjoyment out of it.
I'm waiting for a sequel. I hope they blow that plan up again and we get another 5 episodes.
Yeah. Ooh. You know what? As far as I know,
maybe the sequel will be Fukushima.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the
That'd be
sequel.
a good sequel.
Bunch of British people in yellowface. Speaking British.
If they go full British on that one,
that would be hilarious.
That's a hate crime. That's a
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Fuck.
Go full British on you, Fukushima.
Jake Gyllenhaal starring in Fukushima.
I'm in. I'm fucking in.
Take my money, HBO.
All the way in,
Yeah. You know, Jackie Chan has a role like higher up, just as the only Asian person anybody knows.
Yeah. Like one of the ongoing themes of the Chernobyl show, though, was that they just lied about everything and nothing was a problem until it was like, it's actually a huge problem. So it made me really think about the Fukushima one that was pretty recently, like within 10 years. Yeah. And almost right away, it was just like, everything's fine, it's not a problem. And we all kind of just moved on. And I'm like, do we have to go back and look at that again? Like, do we need HBO to make a yellow-faced show to expose how many people actually died and how
we're still all eating the fish that come out of the ocean.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's so quick to be like, oh, it wasn't actually a meltdown. It was fine. Everyone's like, okay.
To bring it back to Chernobyl, I feel like there was, after the explosion took place in Chernobyl, and the fucking, the lava, the molten lava that was created from from the reaction and everything they dumped into the hole, off the get-go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Turned into, this molten lava that was, burning its way through the factory.
Yep.
And there was water underneath of the factory that they used from the nearby river to make the steam in the nuclear reaction process. And they were super concerned that we can't let this magma fall into that water because it will contaminate the water, and then from here to Moscow, all this water is gonna affect people and kill them. And then you
and also it's going to cause an explosion, I guess.
Yeah.
All that water is going to superheat and steam, and there'll just be another explosion. It'll just blow more crap all over the place.
But to bring it to Fukushima, Fukushima factory or the reactor was on the fucking Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fucking got in the Pacific Ocean. That happened,
Dude, I remember when that happened, they showed an estimate, I don't know,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about,
projections of what would happen.
Exactly, and where the concentration would be and where it would end up because of tidal patterns and stuff like that. And it was pretty horrific. And then the next year they just never talked about it again.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, the housing crisis in Vancouver started right about that time.
Fact,
with a bunch of people that don't actually live in the houses.
Yeah, that's something worth looking
It's
into,
worth
like
looking into.
how it went up.
We just have to find the
Potentially,
child sex ring, and that's our perfect, pretty much experts crime
That's
solve.
our foothold. Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
everything in a neat little package.
Done. But fucking Chernobyl, man. Like, I love it.
How great were those naked miners?
Oh, like that only guy,
Yeah.
the only dude with the Russian accent also had like the biggest chode I've ever seen.
Just a little thing poking out of his bush.
Oh yeah, it was.
You
a
know that was
dense
probably
bush.
part of the deal. Like, Russia was not stoked on this fucking
The
documentary
one
at all, but
Russian
they're like, all right, well, if you're gonna do it, like, the miner has to be Russian,
Yeah.
and we get to pick them, right? And they're just like, pick the fucking biggest chode we got.
We wanted the pubic hair like the back of a wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking dick like a
Course.
tuna can.
Jesus.
Like,
But-
do you think? Speaking of accuracy, because that's definitely accurate. Like, I'm
That's
sure that guy's a
accurate.
perfect spitting image of the
The only thing is, I bet you there was more foreskin back then.
way more.
Unless it burned off, the radiation
I don't
burned
know.
it off.
I don't know for sure if that guy had a foreskin or not. I don't remember looking at it.
I don't
I've
remember.
seen
Like,
it.
if I close my eyes and
The-
picture
the-
him walking out of the mine, I don't see.
It was too
I
much
don't see
bush.
the
You couldn't even see the tip of it. You could just see some
Way
mid,
too
and then
much
it went
bush.
back down into the main.
It's just the discoloration.
You just saw
It's
the
like a
elbow
white
of his
hockey
dick.
puck, and then
But what's with the fucking the bakers uniforms? Like all these nuclear scientists had to dress like bakers.
And so did the miners.
yeah, everyone was
what's
wearing the
with that?
same protective cloth. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, I don't. I think it's just to
Was there
keep
something about it?
keep residual like radiation off of you.
Because he was saying like, well, we're still wearing the hat.
We're still
The
wearing
one
the
nude
hats.
miner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what
dick
was it
that,
about
yeah.
the baker's uniform? Like, is that the key to like not absorbing radiation? Is you got to wear all white cotton?
Well, it's probably just what they told them. Like, we're talking about like lying Soviet Union, right? Like they.
Yeah. Well, that
They didn't
actually
give a
brings
fuck.
up a point that I like kind of like has been dancing around in my head since I started watching this. Like, the show makes it seem like everybody volunteered, like they had a say in whether or not they were gonna assist in
think
this
they did.
cleanup. Like,
Yeah.
how accurate is that? Like, I'm sure a lot of them got told.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of
You
it
know?
was you're doing it, right? Like, I think too, it's like, I believe, there's lots of things I believe in, like, because I also believe that they just didn't tell anybody, in the immediate people, what was going on at all for the first couple days.
Yeah, that happened.
And
Yeah,
even
right.
within the USSR, like, they were very like like nothing's wrong, nothing happened, and they wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But it was like
Yeah.
the outside international community that like came at Russia or the Soviets and were like, what happened? Like, we know something happened. Like, I think it was the Swedes.
Yeah.
There was like a nuclear power plant in Sweden that they had this set up, and it's probably the same with like Russia and
Yeah.
their weird suits that they wear. But it's like when their employees would leave the building, they had to get checked for radiation, and if they got flagged, they would get quarantined and like, you know, gone through the process of like getting deradiated.
Getting hosed.
Yeah, exactly, hosing them down.
Yeah, hosing them with milk or whatever they were using.
Yeah, milk and like powdered sugar.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was just like a metal detector basically that you'd walk through, and it would say if you were radiated or not.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was going off when people were coming into the building, and they couldn't figure it out. And when they figured it out, finally, it was because they're like, it's on the shoes. It was on everybody's shoes. Like, they were walking through something that was radiated and bringing it into the building.
Right.
Yeah.
And just from that, they realized that it was like, oh fuck, like, figured out wind patterns and stuff, and we're just like, and this was within like the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Just like something happened in Chernobyl. Like, we know there's a power plant there.
Yeah.
Something happened there, and there's nuclear fallout all over fucking Sweden right now. Like, what happened? And everything is fine.
Yeah.
Go back
Yeah.
to ignoring Soviet Russia.
Well, what tipped off the one nuclear physicist or whatever in the show, the woman, who I don't know if she was an actual person.
No, she was fake.
Yeah, but I guess like she was like I think it says it at the end. She was like an amalgamation of all the people that did help.
Yeah.
You know, bring stuff to light.
She did a lot of the legwork in the moves show, right?
I think
like
a part of like when she was in her office with her colleague and she wipes the window and tests the thing. That I think that has to do with like the Swedish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
like
a little around.
Yeah. Where they're like, there's too much radiation airborne right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, something had to have happened somewhere, and they called around, and sure enough, Chernobyl was the place that
doesn't answer the phone.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, they're dodging right now. It's going to voicemail. Something's going on.
But like the show was great, but the one thing that they didn't talk about, and this is like a weird like secretive thing in the Chernobyl lore of their legend and stuff, right? But if you look it up, you can find it, and it's a true story. Is that I believe the explosion happened on April 28th.
Okay.
And I think May 1st was a national holiday called May Day, where it was like to celebrate the workers of Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
Right? So like everybody it was like a May 2-4 basically, and they had a big parade. So like anyone that was a worker, like a grunt worker, was stoked for this parade. And when Chernobyl blew up and the winds took it north to like Sweden, it went over Kiev, Ukraine, where they had, it'd be like going over Toronto, and they had like this giant fucking May Day parade, and the government told nobody about it.
I feel like that was in this show.
I don't think they didn't touch on the May Day thing.
I feel like it was.
They might have mentioned May Day.
I think they mentioned that, are we canceling the parade? And they're like, no.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that did come up.
That might have come up in like the boardroom or something.
Yeah.
And it was like a thing though where like nobody was told about it, but everybody remembered that there was like a grandstand set up for all of the government officials and their families.
Yeah.
And it was like completely empty.
Oh, of course. They're not going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they knew about it and didn't go, but let the parade go on. And like this is something that the like Soviets like scrubbed from the record books. Like there's I remember watching a documentary where there was like a 10-second film. It looked like the Zapruder like JFK film of what the parade was. And it's just a parade, right?
Yeah.
But it was like documentation that it happened.
Yeah.
4 days after this fucking giant nuclear reactor blows up, and they didn't tell anybody, right? And just all those people fucking are like dead now, basically.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I read some stats after the fact. They did talk a little bit about, or like, you know, they had like the breakdown after the...
Which was like 15 minutes of breakdown.
It was great, though.
It was great.
Did.
But it was
wrapped some shit up, and it also left you thinking, what the fuck, when they talk about how the Soviets only reported 31 deaths because
31 deaths.
Yeah, never mind. Like, it's potentially, I saw some stats. It was like so and so did a survey, and it's like it's around 5,000, and then Greenpeace did one, and it was like could be upwards of 200,000 people died that were affected directly, or I guess indirectly in some cases, by the explosion at Chernobyl.
I feel like it's kind of like the plague, though, where it's like it gets inflated because anyone that dies from cancer in that region gets flagged as a...
Yeah,
like, oh, it must
within
have been
200 kilometers.
But it's things like your thyroid, right? Like that's what, like in Belarus.
Yeah.
Belarus has like the highest rate of thyroid cancer in teens and
they're right there on the border, right?
Oh, they were like the ones like... Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a story about how like when the nuclear fallout like went up into the atmosphere, it got stuck over Belarus for like, you know, a couple hours longer. Instead of just constantly moving, it was just there and hovered for a bit and then took off. So
would there be a bunch of acid rain as a result of that?
Yeah, I think there was. I actually saw a thing, I read about it. I'm not sure if it's true or not, that like the Russians actually shot things into the atmosphere to try to make it rain, to like get the nuclear fallout to come out of the clouds and shit.
Over Belarus?
I guess so. That's probably where they did it, right?
Yeah.
Make them deal with it all now.
Yeah.
But there's like weird... lots of weird conflicting stories about shit like that, because like it was like there's so many lies, right? Like people, there was dudes that had to go and like swim through water in the basement of the fucking reactor to like release water valves or something. And even at the end of the documentary it said that like there's some reports saying that all 3 of these guys died in the first week. But then, like, we've actually uncovered evidence that says, like, no, like, they actually are still alive and well today.
2 of them are still alive,
Yeah, right? So, shit like that.
And they don't tell you if that one died as a result. I'm sure it was, expedited
even if it was
as a result of going in there.
15 years later, cancer, it's like, to say that it wasn't a result, like, nobody knows.
No one knows.
Yeah.
But even, like, they say, like, there was only really one death, though. Like, instant death from the...
Yeah, the guy in the...
The one guy in, like, the boiler room or the pump house.
Room thing, or, one of those places. Or the guy that was, like, where all the rods were bouncing out of the ground.
Yeah.
Like that guy, right at the explosion. I think there was 1 or 2 that died immediately, right?
I think there was 1. And they don't... Like, they say that he was either vaporized or... His body's still there because they just can't get him, right? Like,
there was something, I saw something about that, like where he's still buried in the remains. I think it was at the end of the last episode.
But like, even like, I don't know, the show pisses me off. I found like so many times yelling at the TV where there was like that dumb woman that was fucking like pregnant and going to see her husband.
Oh my god.
And they're like, just don't touch him. Like, are you pregnant? No.
Yeah, and she sucks his radioactive dick.
Basically, right? Like, gets pregnant in the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
And then, like, that episode ends, like, spoiler alert, where, like, the guy is fucking dead because his body just, like, deteriorated to nothing.
Which, like, was horrific, what they showed.
Oh, yeah, when they showed, that was fucked, the shit that they were showing.
Fucked.
Like, just looked like Nosferatu laying in the bed. Yeah. Right?
That was worse than the 30 minutes where they were shooting dogs.
Yeah.
Which was also horrible, but like showing, like when they showed like the people with like the radiation burns.
So what are you saying is worse, the shooting of the dogs or the people dying of radiation burns?
The people in the hospital with the fucking bloodshot eyes and the...
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
Oh, man. Like it almost haunted me. Like I'm pretty sure I dreamt about it, you know?
It was pretty wild. But, and then at the end of that episode, the guy's like dead and they're burying him in like a...
concrete,
like a metal coffin, and burying him in concrete, and she's just there like, oh well, my baby's fucked.
Baby is okay.
Yeah, everything is fine. Maybe he didn't touch my stomach.
Back to the like conspiracy theories and misinformation. I saw some report that like the Russian officials are like pretty unhappy with the show.
Oh yeah.
So they're doing like a Russian version that's like what they say happens, and that was sabotage and likely an American.
Oh wow! I can't wait for that.
I did see that.
That's gonna be a good show.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess like the whole idea behind the tests that they were doing was like, basically there would be, if they got bombed by the Americans, like this is like in the middle of the Cold War, like towards the end of less, I guess.
The power goes out. How are the diesel generators gonna react, and how is the core gonna react?
Because there was like a 60-second delay between the backup generators kicking in after the reactor would go down. But in that 60 seconds, they could fucking experience a meltdown kind of thing. So they were trying to test to see if they had enough time to do that. If these other, or if the system itself was hot enough to fix it. Like if they just directed the power somewhere else.
The thing was, the generator kicked in right away, but it took 60 seconds to be running like fast enough to be like efficient. And it was like, okay, if we turn the power off like dead, is there enough like heat and whatever going that by the time the generator gets up to speed at 60 seconds, like both are overlapping enough that everything's fine.
Yeah, I guess like the turbine
it's still going to be turning a few more times. Like if you can get 25 seconds out of the turbine just going on its own momentum, and then the generator's going to get it up to speed, maybe that's only going to, leave 10 seconds, and is that enough to like fuck the world?
So the safety test was like, we're going to bring the output of this nuclear generator, we're going to bring the output down to a certain amount so the turbine's only spinning a certain amount. Yeah. And the demand's only so high so that we can see if, there was a loss of power if the generators could. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And I guess, and then like the whole thing was that like this whole like the dump switch, basically like the kill switch.
Yeah, and they just botched it and should have stopped. Like they had
there was a fault. There was some faulty,
But there was so many like chances. Like I actually watched another like it was one of those like the last hour before Chernobyl, right? And just like minute by minute told me what had happened. And it was just basically like they had like 10 different opportunities to stop.
Yeah, but it seemed like that one fucking dude.
Yeah. All they had to do was just stop, and like the problem was that it would have taken 24 hours to get the reactor back up to snuff.
Yeah.
And they were just like, no, keep going, and we'll just power it up quicker kind of thing.
Well, this miniseries made it seem like just that one dude really was the most responsible for all these issues, because he was the guy that everyone feared, and he was the guy that knew everything, and it was like,
but he was also above him was also said at that one point, like, we've tried to do this twice.
Oh, he just wanted the fucking valor, right? Like,
he said that, like, if we get a successful test tonight, I will likely be promoted. And then the douchebag old guy's like, well, who takes your spot? And he's like, well, maybe I'll put in a good word if the test goes well. Yeah. So like they're all just basing it on like we all wanted promotions in this fake world where nobody gets anything. Like you're just appointed. Like no one's. I'm the High Chancellor of Nuclear Power, and it's like you worked in the shoe factory. Like,
and RJ, like to totally add on your point,
guy,
I think it's in like the last episode when they're about to do the trial, and the guy that you're following, Valeri or whatever the fuck his name is. I didn't know any of these people's names because it was just stupid.
Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, and Buddy from the Avenger movies. But basically, like, Bubbles got called into a car by, like, the higher-ups before the trial, and they told him to lie.
Yeah.
And it was, KGB. Like... Right? And then they're just, like, open up a briefcase, and they're like, oh, and here, right here, is, like, the highest Medal of Honor certificate that you can get as, like, the best engineer in all of Soviet Russia. Like, if you just say these things, it's already signed and dated for tomorrow that we will give it to you, and it's yours. Yeah. And again, I think it, like, plays back into the scene. I think it's also in the same episode where these guys are sitting in a room like, should we do the test? And it's like, well, if we do the test, we're promised all this honor and glory. Yeah. Which is just nothing.
Yeah.
No, it's
like
made up.
It's fucking nothing. It's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
It's only going to exist in a textbook somewhere.
Yeah.
And
you're going to get a promotion. You're going to get a promotion if you can do this by breaking all the rules and get it done. But this is nuclear fucking fusion we're talking about that like if you can't, there's a process. If you fuck it up,
but I mean, in all fairness, and they do say it, it's like they thought their plan B, even though they had plenty of plan Bs, like their plan B was that fucking AZ5 or whatever, that button that was gonna fucking kill as a kill switch for the whole reactor. They thought that was functional, or at least it wouldn't cause the issue that it had caused, but because of all the precursors, all the reason why the core was reactive and the way it was, and the reason why it was
what blew it up was like there was like graphite tips on these boron rods that were supposed to be the cooling mechanism to the like I feel like I'm an expert after that dude with his fucking
fifth episode is just here's how reactors work.
Definitely
I didn't know.
I wish it, like Mike, like you're saying, I wish it was in English so it was like I got a better understanding, but I figured it out. But
I also wish that the series was 5 more episodes and they just kind of stretched everything, because the courtroom scene was like, or that episode was probably the best episode.
Yeah.
And that could have been like,
and like the fact that it's like it's not over. Like I feel like even when by the time they finished the original, like I think they call it the sarcophagus that they built over top of it. Like the first one they built was only supposed to last like 30 years. And so they actually just finished the second one, which is supposed to last another 100 years.
It's a containment building or something?
Yeah, to keep the radiation in. And that the half-life on this fucking thing is like 50,000 years. Yeah. Like it's going to be around forever. It's going to be like after human beings have completely fucked up our planet.
Yeah.
This thing is still going to be here and just emitting radiation.
Yeah.
That's how bad it got fucked up.
I remember reading about, back to my, like, history of studying design and all that bullshit that I do for a living. They had to create, like, iconography to, like, put up on fences surrounding the Chernobyl site. And it couldn't be as simple as, like, what we would have today, like, explosion, keep out.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be a skull and crossbones because it was meant for 20,000 years from now. If, you know, everything hits the fan, civilization rebuilds, and, like, all our prior, like, red on a stop light means stop. Like, if, you know, that stops and we have to start all the way over and nobody knows what that means.
Yeah.
Like, if you just wander into that area, like, what kind of sign can they put up that's like, do not fucking walk any closer?
Don't go in this shit,
Wow, interesting.
It has to be completely, like, language neutral. It can't rely on any pre-existing, like, hand up means don't come in here. Because some people are like, oh, high five area, sick, coming in. So, like,
I would.
Like, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, like, what did they settle on?
I don't remember. But it's a cool story.
But
they did.
It is. Like, it's an interesting, like, thought process. Like you said, if everything gets wiped out and it's like a small faction of people that still exists and they rebuild, it's like, what's gonna cross those boundaries?
Yeah.
You know, what's gonna be daunting enough and informative enough that they're gonna understand?
Well, fuck. And, like, I feel like that kind of just even builds on, like, my favorite part of this. And, like, I got a reason why it's my favorite part. But are the liquidators.
Yeah.
Right?
What's
are
that?
the people that fucking had to, like...
Harangi loves liquidators.
I don't know what she's screaming about. She's just sad. Her mom was gone watching The fucking Bachelor. No, but the liquidators were the people that basically, I think we kind of touched about it earlier, that had to fucking clean up everything.
Yeah, I was wondering what liquid they're just spraying on everything. It seemed like they're very confident and thorough, but it's like, what is that? Are you just washing shit all over the ground? Like, or is it
I'm talking more of the people that had to get up on the fucking roof and were only allowed to be out there for 90 seconds or their fucking balls would fall off, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is such a... Like, it's a kamikaze mission. The whole thing.
That was an intense scene.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, the guy going out and tripping and, like, not being able to move the graph. Like, that whole scene was really fucking intense.
Yeah. Now, fun fact on that, and, like, maybe I'll post it to our Instagram account.
Yeah.
But one of the first birthday gifts my roommate ever bought me was a medal that was given to one of the liquidators.
Right.
Like, the Soviet Medal of Honor that all the liquidators got. They didn't get any kind of health care. And didn't get acknowledged at all after
they
the
got
fact.
800 rubles and a medal.
And a medal.
400 rubles.
And now I own one of those medals, probably because the guy's dead.
What's the
fucking... get a Giger on that and make sure that it's not...
What's the Ram Jam count on that thing?
What's the Ram John count?
That was my favorite part of the whole episode 1, was it's like, we're reading like 3.5 Ram Johns, but the Geiger counters only go to 3.5, and everyone like, oh, like, it's bad, but it's not terrible. It's bad, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
And then they call up fucking Bubbles. And he's like, well, what do the Geigers say? And he's like, they're like 3.5. And he's like, oh my God, evacuate the area. Like, what are you still doing there?
And he knew, because he knew that that's the max that those meters go to.
Yeah.
That's not an accurate reading. That's just like, we're saying it's at least this much.
We're saying it's more. Yeah, exactly. And then, it wasn't until... And then, like, everyone just puking on tables in the first episode, too. RJ, I feel like you and I joked about that.
Funny.
The reactor can't be gone. Go look. And then, like, the guy would go and look and come back like, the reactor's gone. Like, the reactor can't be gone. You go look. And everyone just starts puking.
You're delirious from sickness.
The whole time, like, the first 4 episodes, I'm thinking, or, like, anytime they show, like, the control room, I'm like, why didn't anybody just say, fuck this is wrong, like, I know well enough. And then in the 5th episode, when they do the minute by minute, or, you know, breakdown, the one guy, Hakeem or whatever, he, the guy with the mustache and the glasses, he was the voice of reason in that control room, saying that this isn't right, this is unsafe, and ultimately it didn't make enough of a difference. Like, they got too far into that safety test and had to, hit that fucking switch and cause the explosion. But it was like, I'm like frustrated watching this, thinking like, why didn't anyone just say, fuck, this is not right? It's not like you're playing with fire. You're playing with nuclear fire. Like, it's a step above like anything you've ever experienced as far as danger goes.
Oh, and to add on this is totally coming to my mind too. They talked about this in the other documentary that I watched. The guy, the asshole that was all like, keep doing it, like, don't stop doing it, press all the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking used to be like in the Navy and was a commander of a nuclear submarine and fucking melted it down too.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Wow.
And he was like found to be responsible, but not like criminally responsible in like a court, like a military court.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're like, okay,
dude,
you can't do this job anymore. We'll send you to fucking Chernobyl, and you can do it on the land at least.
You can't sink a reactor, you fucking jackass.
And then he pretty much did.
He did sink it.
He only got 10 years in jail.
Yeah.
Or 10 years hard labor.
Oh, that's
and
worse than jail.
Who knows what that...
What
but
the
who
fuck
knows
does that
what that
even
means
mean?
for that guy?
It's like
the government...
mining with your
but
dick out.
do they?
Yeah,
Like, they're
they
trying to
take all your
protect
clothes.
They're trying to protect, like, their namesake, like, the name of the... Like, they're trying to protect the Soviet Union. They don't want this information getting out. Like, they say he did 10 years labor, but, like, did he? Like, that could just be one of those, like, silver ponies. Like, here you go.
Well,
we're punishing him.
I think that dude, the guy that, like, was in the room, he got the shit end. Like, he was the one that got blamed.
Right.
Where, like, there was the one guy that was, like, older, that had, like, the cul-de-sac and white hair. Yeah. And he got sentenced to 10 years hard labor, but only did like 2, and then they decided he was like too sick, and they let him out, and then he ended up getting another like government official job at the end of it, like when
he lived for 30
Russia.
more years.
Yeah, I've always said this, and I'll say it like this is for like all our Georgetown listeners, but I feel like Russia and the Soviet Union are just like the Nashville North of the entire world.
Oh, good point.
Right? Like, it's this, they change the name every fucking 10 years, but it's still the same shitty bar.
Oh, man.
Same people running it, just change the name.
I know we're coming up, we're definitely over an hour here with all the griping and talking and shit.
You circled back to gripes.
It's not much of a gripe, actually. Okay. Opposite of gripe, whatever that is. But my mom, for a brief moment, worked at Nashville North when it was Nashville North, and it was still a cowboy bar.
Yeah. Was it 1986?
I was really young, so it was probably like early 90s.
Okay.
And we'd go and pick her up from work, like me and my dad or whatever. He'd go and drink, and I'd fuck around. Like, they had like a storefront there that was all Western gear, and I would love that place. I'd go in there and put on all the cowboy boots and the hats, and like that was like for years and years. I just wanted cowboy boots. Yeah. And eventually, my mom flipped the bill and got me some cowboy boots, and I never wore them ever. like I was so hard on getting cowboy boots for like from ages. From the age 7 to 10, I wanted these cowboy boots so fucking bad.
Fooled her.
And you fucking never wore them.
Never wore them.
My last memory at Nashville North appropriately is with you two, and I remember Mike pissing all over everything, and it was hilarious.
You did.
I pissed on that fire outside in front of everybody.
I remember when we were leaving, it was like, I guess it was winter, because they had these like torches outside for warmth.
It was like 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah, it was Christmas, I guess. And
it was Christmas, yeah.
Everyone's kind of like standing around these fires, like warming their hands and chatting. And you just kind of glance your eyes down. Mike's got his fucking bird out, pissing all over the bottom of it. Amongst Steaming, shoulder to shoulder with strangers. And it's like, this guy's rotten. What is wrong with him? So funny.
Yeah.
And then when we were leaving at the end of the night, you couldn't wait like 3 seconds. Light the smoke, start walking out, and the bouncer's like, you can't smoke in the doorway, man. And he just like flicked the cigarette like toward the wall, and it just like hit the like propane tank like right there.
No,
I think
no,
that
I
was on the
remember-
way in.
That was
I
on the
think that
way
was
in.
On the way in,
You
I'm
were
smoking.
You were smoking
Yeah.
on the way in, and he was like, "You can't smoke here," and you're like, "Oh, is this the ashtray?"
I'll just
and like,
put it out in this ashtray.
flicked your cigarette into the ashtray, and he's like, "No, that's the propane tank."
It was
And
like
this
a
was-
propane tank in an encasement with a hole in it,
Yeah.
so you could get your hand in there.
And like,
To me, that's like my nan used to have the exact same ashtray.
yeah,
You
and like
know, like-
40 seconds before that in the parking lot when we're all wasted, just like, okay, we gotta try to act sober so we can get let in here, and you fucking almost blew the place up. But it was perfect because like we all laughed with the security guard, and then
Yeah.
like the next kids that came up behind us were super young, and he
Yeah.
just hassled the fuck out of them, like.
yeah.
Oh, I don't
Made them get like
remember.
multiple IDs out and just like, you guys go ahead, like,
Yeah, you guys are funny.
yeah, you guys
There's
are
a
funny.
few-
Almost blew this place up.
There's a few memories from that night, and obviously the
Chernobyl
almost blowing the
this place.
place up. The horrible mug shots they take of you on the way in,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right? Like they make you stand in front of that camera and take the mug shots, spitting on things, pissing on things, but stepping on shoes. We're all on a tear. We're all on a tear,
Fuck, that was
stepping
a
on
fun
shoes.
game. I forgot about
Yeah.
that game.
People
I forgot
really
about that
didn't.
too.
It was the Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays DJ was the appeal
Yeah.
for 99% of the people there. He was playing the Toronto Blue Jays DJ. I guess it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's all these bros.
Official
It's
Blue
Christmas, so
Jays.
everyone's back in town,
Yeah.
right? All the old bros are out to party from fucking, cities and
for fucking
towns
DJ
in the area.
DJ BJ in the house.
DJ BJ was there, and
Live from
everyone
the
had their
nest.
fancy new Christmas shoes on.
Yeah.
So we
Just
were
scuff 'em
stepping
up.
on them.
Yeah. It was
I remember
so
too. We went
fun.
into there being like, we're either like two things are gonna happen. We're either gonna fuck or we're gonna fight. And
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
was just like went up to every girl in the place. And
Trying to
when
fuck.
That,
Oh, yeah.
And trying to fuck, and then when that failed,
Yeah.
it was just like, all right, now we're gonna go up to every guy and gonna try to fight him.
Just
and, like,
stepping on
that-
shoes starts
Stepping
every
on
fucking
shoes.
fight.
I remember trying to leave that night, like being
Great
like in
memories.
like 4 different altercations of dudes with fucking baseball caps and stickers on
Crooked
them,
white
just, like-
baseball caps, and you just
Yeah.
you-
And white shoes.
white shoes.
And
Well,
white
not for
shoes,
long,
come
because
on.
like as you
Yeah.
like shake their hand and
better.
ask them their name, you just like slide your
Yeah.
foot across theirs and just scuff the shit out of them.
Don't even say sorry.
Don't say sorry. It's
No.
the whole
Last time I
fun.
checked, this was a country bar, and I'm here to boot, scoot, and boogie.
Yeah.
All right,
Baby.
so-
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to hook up with this tall African American woman.
Yeah.
I was really enamored by her.
She was a
uh,
dancer. I remember.
Yeah, and I
They were
gave her
models,
the old
I think.
I gave her the old fucking Steve Miller line. I want to shake your peaches and climb your tree, or whatever the hell that fucking.
You
Steve
said like
Miller
you wanted
song
to
is.
climb. You would climb a tree and break a couple branches off on the way. We should
Oh
go to
my
the washroom.
God,
Like you
okay,
tried to
what-
get her to go to the washroom.
Okay, so it wasn't Steve Miller at all.
No.
In your mind, you're like in Steve Miller's voice singing it.
Yeah.
Everyone else around you's like, I'm gonna break your arms and fucking bathroom.
Call me the space cowboy, baby.
That's why it didn't work.
Yeah. But I remember though, because like I was with her friend and we were just laughing, but it was actually like I got her number because it was like we were bonding over like how fucked up that interaction was. Just like,
I
yeah,
was
I'm just-
trying my best, man.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I immediately, that was like we were outside, and then I went and pissed on that fire in
Yeah.
front of everybody.
yeah. It was time to leave after
No,
that.
it was time to leave.
We didn't get kicked out. We
No,
left under our
no,
own
no.
terms.
On our own accord, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last call, but our own.
Yeah.
Blinking the light.
Still a
Yeah.
decision we made.
The
DJ
lights came
BJ's got the last dance on.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Cutting
what
Eye
a
Joe.
good time.
We're
Um,
penciling in a group visit in September. I think we should hit up Nashville just for the S's and G's.
Oh no.
Wow.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
have to.
Just
Yeah.
have
Just have to.
just for the fucking toilet privileges.
Oh yeah.
Do we got a question?
Yeah,
This week?
we got one. If we're running
Ooh.
over, we can save it for next week. But
No,
Let's save it. We're an hour 20. We should.
Let's
save it.
like I think we gotta end it the way we end it, boys. Let's
Okay,
get a
okay.
question
Okay.
in here.
Brian,
Okay.
our boy Brian from Toronto wants to know who, if any, were our role models growing up.
Flyers.
That's a hard one. I'd say like when I was a kid, my role models were all hockey players. I'd have to look like Ray Bourque for his accuracy, Ale
His
Frady for his
haircut.
speeds, like his slap shot. Oh, the haircut on Adam Oates. The Boston Bruins had a team. Not really a fan
really?
anymore, but
I'm
Boston
definitely
Bruins.
early
Back
90s
in the day?
Maple Leafs, man.
I remember the Bruins sucking back in the day.
yeah, but I like those guys.
And you don't anymore when they're good.
Who was their goalie? They had a sick
It's
goalie.
fucking Andy Moog.
Andy Moog. See, you can't trash the fucking
You
Bruins.
can't trash the Moog.
94 Bruins?
Yeah, but the Bruins fucked up in 94.
Yeah. G.G. Allen did too.
G.G.
Allen.
Allen, in particular, yeah. G.G. Allen fucked up.
You know what? Role models.
Role
O.J. Simpson.
OJ. Jesus.
This is
Post-
like pre-teens, right?
Yeah,
No, yeah, I'm
growing
talking
up.
like post 94
Who did
O.J. Guy did what he wanted.
Man.
He had a reality show, but never filmed any of it.
Yeah, didn't get a cent. Got a bad rap.
I honestly can't remember having any role models, but chances are they were athletes. I know John Force.
Yeah.
John Force was a funny
No
car
one knows
driver.
who that is.
He used to drive for Castrol GTX.
Wow.
I really like John Force. I had a poster on my wall and
Yeah.
a Felix Potvin poster.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like all my heroes let me down. Like I was a big Roberto Alomar fan, and then he got like
Oh,
Ace.
yeah.
spat
Then he spit.
on. He spit on that
Spit
fucking
Ace.
That
umpire.
changed my
Ace
life.
spit.
That
That's
changed my
like
life.
that's nasty.
It
Yeah,
makes
but I
sense
wanted
now.
to be that. I
Yeah.
wanted to be that tough.
Yeah.
If Roberto's doing it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
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 Fuck. That's a good question.
I
I
think
mean-
all my role models back then were just sports guys.
Yeah, sports sounds.
How could they
right,
not
yeah.
be, right?
else do you
Like
know
that
when you're a
Ronald
kid?
McDonald, like
Yeah, when you're a kid.
yeah,
I-
That's more of
Wolverine,
I
Former
had
the
Grimace
'90s
man.
animated X-Men show.
like I'm trying to think back to like wall poster. And I
Well, Ninja
definitely
Turtles
had
for sure.
like a
All the
Michael
Ninja
Jordan
Turtles.
and an Ed Belfour poster.
But we fucking never
Yeah.
watched basketball. Like we
No.
only liked Michael Jordan because he
No.
was like the
Space
Tiger
Jam.
Woods. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Space Jam. Yeah.
who's that shitty swimmer?
I think
Michael
my role
Phelps?
model was just Chicago. Looking at my poster collection.
Yeah, you're
City
just
of
a Chicago.
Yeah. Eastern states.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Midwest.
Yeah. The Midwest.
the Midwest was my
Chicago
fucking
and
idol.
Boston. The Midwest.
Yeah.
Boston is not in the Midwest.
Well, tell that to them.
Tell that to Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah. Literally right next door.
it's not even close. One is literally.
Before
I just hate how
One's
they
on
call
break.
it. Here's a gripe. Why do they call it the Midwest when it's clearly just in the fucking middle?
Dude, that was an actual
we
gripe
talked
2
about
weeks
this.
ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen to
yeah.
your own
Dude.
show.
Fucking
No.
Detroit is the Midwest.
Yeah.
That was my gripe. Like, are you
That-
fucking
yeah.
kidding me right now?
It was in the Ted Bundy episode. It was not long ago.
You okay?
Yeah, it was last
you're
week.
right. It's coming back. I have beers when we do this, boys. Come on. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a fair gripe, and
Before
it's okay to bring
Toronto
up
was
twice.
your hockey team, who was your team? Like, if you're gonna rag on me for like in Boston in 1994,
I feel like I always liked the Leafs.
that's not
Yeah, it
true.
was
But
always Toronto.
The only time I wavered, RJ, was like when we were kids and we both were like Pavel Bure fans.
Oh yeah,
And it was like, and then the Canucks went to the finals. I feel like
Yeah.
yeah.
that was the only time I ever really wavered on the Maple Leafs.
Well, Pavel Bure was cool, and those uniforms were super cool.
They're still,
Oh, fucking
yeah.
right there. They're the best
Yeah.
jerseys in the land.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jerseys, yeah.
Still don't know what it is.
I think it's a
No.
skate.
And a sunset, maybe?
Yeah.
It's like it's a mess, but the colors
It's
are
a
great.
fucking mess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bure was great. I think he had some of that, Ukrainian isotopes in him for the extra speed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
That's
for
why he's so
sure he
quick.
did.
Yeah.
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 There's something going on with his thyroid because he didn't last long.
No, and he wasn't very pretty looking either.
No.
No. Were they the only team with black jerseys?
I think
The
Most.
Kings were black. Black and
Oh, the
gray.
Kings were black. Yeah,
Boston's
and gray,
black.
Boston
Yeah,
was black.
okay.
I think
Chicago,
San
yeah.
Jose was black at the time, too. A lot of black.
there's a lot of black. Now that I think about it,
yeah.
most teams are black. Pittsburgh,
Okay, yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the 80s, it's like nobody was original, just black.
Just
We're
black.
doing black.
Black and
Yeah,
red.
black and a color. Yeah, I'm gonna go on that boat too and just say probably athletes, sports.
Who was the fucking race car guy you had a boner for?
Jeff Gordon.
John Force.
John Force.
Yeah, with a cool name too,
That's
like that.
cool
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Speed Racer. Born for it.
Yeah, John Force.
I think as I got older though, like Mike, you said it, like Lars Frederiksen, definitely
Yeah, for
like
sure.
a role model.
I'm still growing
Mike,
up, so I guess
Tim
those
Armstrong.
count. Those still count. I'm still growing up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My current
Yeah,
growing
they're
up.
still in the top 5 for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that I don't agree with, like Rancid's like sober. I don't know. I can't like.
Really?
Can't. I think so.
All of them?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim's been sober for a long time. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say if anyone drinks, it's probably going to be Matt.
Yeah.
See, I was reading a thing
Didn't
the
he
other day
also
that.
have lung cancer and shit, and all that health scare changed him up? Remember?
Oh really? I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
You don't
Oh,
remember him
Well,
having
that
lung
was-
cancer?
That was the show they canceled in Toronto because of that.
That
So-
was Lars collapsed. Not
Oh,
because
was
of,
it?
Yeah.
It was around
Yeah.
that time, though.
Yeah. They definitely
Within
took
a-
time
Okay.
off because of Matt had lung cancer.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh,
that was the
fuck.
next tour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
good
there's
for, like
something
that's
to
a
do.
hard one to beat.
He did it.
Yeah.
It's like the Mike
Yeah.
Tyson of cancers.
Or there was a scare or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Tyson
something.
cancers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was reading a thing the other day about how like when Lars joined the band, he was like a raging alcoholic,
Yeah.
and Matt wasn't into it and like wanted Tim to kick him out.
That's good.
Because obviously
Well-
Tim was obviously like at that point already like kind of sober, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think, yeah, you're right. His party
Yeah.
It was
days
a
were
little-
after IV.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right, like Matt came back with Tim to do Rancid, like pretty much on the condition that it was like we'll do this, but you can't be fucking
Yeah.
getting drunk and shit. And then they bring in Lars, who
Yeah.
it was like just a raging alcoholic,
Yeah,
Yeah.
bad drunk.
drug addicted.
If you have RJ, you turned me onto this. I don't know if you listen to it, Rue, but that dude from Fucked Up does a wicked podcast with Lars.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
a good one.
And they talk a lot about that those years.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's really good. I think it's a 2-parter. It's really good.
All right, we'll check it out.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it called? Turned Out a Punk? That's a good podcast.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pick and choose. If I don't know who the person is, I usually skip it. But I do, once a month, there's like a either athlete, musician, pro wrestler that I know. And it's like, oh, I definitely want to hear your
Oh,
story and, you
Yeah.
know, what bands you listened to in grade 6.
Here's an idol that I still like keep tabs on today, even though I'm not a wrestling fan. I'd say like I'm a super cash wrestling fan.
Right?
But Bret the Hitman Hart was also
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
good
a
idol.
big fucking
Yeah.
idol of mine back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
love when like you have like the idols like that, and then like he put out a book in like 2008, and RJ, like I think you bought it and
Oh,
we read
yeah.
it,
I went to the signing.
and it was like he was just like a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like,
it was a great book.
yeah,
Just doing
he's just
coke
like
and cheating on his wife every night. And it's like,
fucking
that's
so
not
all
the
the
Bret
women.
Hart I thought it was.
no.
Yeah.
That's why they called him the Hitman.
Yeah. What a great
Yeah.
book. He threw
Yeah, you could lump all that in together. Pro wrestling, hockey, maybe baseball.
Oh, definitely baseball.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball
yeah,
players
yeah,
are the
Joe
worst.
Carter and that era of the Blue Jays.
We
Yeah.
just went over-
Well, you
Idolized
know
them.
Joe Carter fucking like probably was like hitting his kids or something.
Fuck.
With a fucking swing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Winfield
Hit 'em
doesn't
all,
even know how
Joe.
many kids he has.
No, hit them all, Joe.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's
Okay.
fucking wrap this one up this week, boys. We
Yeah.
we covered Chernobyl extensively, way
Yeah, we
more
did.
than our
Much.
usual topics. So people that
Yeah.
are stuck in through these 90 minutes, like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I got this much light left.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
fading back there. It's like,
Fading bad.
yeah,
I gotta figure out what the fuck's going on.
your RAM jam count's fucked.
That's
Way
just
off.
it.
Yeah.
You're sitting over top of like a sewer main or something,
Yeah.
giving off
Too
ram
many
jam.
ram
Fucking-
jams in the van.
Yeah.
Fukushima
Ooh,
water.
Black Betty, Bam Lamb, ooh, Black Betty.
Ken Force. You get your Ken Force poster up back there.
No.
You can listen to our podcast.
John Force.
Whatever.
John Force.
John Force. Check out Frontline Fiesta, our favorite Toronto punk band. Like, download, subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and follow us on YouTube and Instagram for some cutting edge comedian memes.
The best.
The best
on the
ones.
biz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got in 2 this week, which is nice. I like to get in 2 a week. Met the quota.
There you go. Yep. There you go. I got to get back in.
Now that you got regular Wi-Fi at your new house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be doing some shit. So keep a lookout.
Keep a lookout.
Yeah.
Until next time, boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
No condoms forever.
No condoms forever.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week.
Good night.
We are
Peace.
Pretty Much Experts.
Bye.
You can check us
Bye.
out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. While you're at it, go have a look at our Facebook page. You can ask an expert any time of day or night, whatever you like. And if you're into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, baby. Thanks again, everybody. Tune in next week. We are Pretty Much Experts, and we love you, I guess.
Living